Today we're going to look at the difference between choosing the PEB for retiree benefits versus taking COBRA. So when you separate from service and you're looking to continue your healthcare plan, you largely have those two options. You can use COBRA, which is continuing your current coverage, or you can look into the PEBB Retiree program. Now, the next variable really depends on which plan you currently are, which system you're in. Are you currently in the PEB system, or you are a school employee currently in the SEBB, or the School Employees Benefit System? So first, let's start with the PEB side. So when you separate service and you're choosing between the PEB for retirees or using COBRA, let's go ahead and look at the differences. So the plan names are going to be exactly the same. What I'm showing you here is the current COBRA rates for 2026. So first, they have a non-Medicare plan. So if you're not currently on Medicare, on COBRA. So let's just take Kaiser Sound Choice, for example, $927 a month here. If we were to go onto the PEB retiree coverage, we have to make sure we're on the non-Medicare side. So you have to scroll down that sheet here, and you can see Sound Choice $927. So actually the COBRA costs with PEB or the non-Medicare retiree coverage is exactly the same. It's the same plan, same coverage, same pricing. So there's no difference between them as far as that goes. The only difference is COBRA is temporary, but the PEB for retiree is more of a permanent or long-term solution. So really, from a cost standpoint, it doesn't matter which one you go to, but if you're going to need it for the long term or more than what the COBRA is going to cover you for, just going to the PEB coverage program is probably going to make more sense. Now, your COBRA coverage can last anywhere from 12 to 36 months. It all depends on your employer and what benefits you are given. So you need to talk to your HR about that. Now, the difference that really happens is when you get onto Medicare. Now, for most people, this is 65, but it can be earlier for certain medical events. So I have a link in the description below. Sound Choice doesn't really work for people that already have Medicare coverage. So remember, once you're on Medicare, Medicare will pay first, and then your PEB plan is going to pay second. There's a second payer option. A lot of my clients end up using this uniform medical plan. So let's just say, for example, you're single, it would cost you $337 per month. So you already pay for your Medicare costs. That's going to come out of your Social Security check. This is your other one you're going to pay that's going to help pick up the slack from Medicare, because Medicare doesn't pay for everything. So it's $337 a month here. If we compare that to cost of coverage here, so these are Medicare plans. So same thing. We have uniform medical, single payer. It's $520 a month. So it's actually cheaper for someone that's currently on Medicare to skip their COBRA plan and enroll straight into the PEB retiree coverage rates. All right. So for PEB, this is pretty straightforward to decide between the two. If you're not on Medicare yet, price and coverages are exactly the same. If you're on Medicare, you're going to be probably better off using the retiree plan because it's more of a long-term solution and it's actually cheaper for the same exact plan and benefits. Now, this gets a little more complicated for my school employees out there because you guys are on SEBB. So with SEBB, this is the current SEBB rate. So we have the base rate, that's how much your employer pays in, and then you have your own rates. So this part over here is how much you pay. So let's use the Kaiser Sound Choice again. If you're someone that's single, you're going to pay $103 per month while you are employed. Your employer's covering it. Once you separate service, your employer's no longer paying into it. So you actually have to pay for the full cost of the medical plans. So you're going to go from $130 per month to what COBRA has to offer you. Again, where you're looking at Sound Choice, subscriber only, $904 per month. So from $130 a month to $904 if you choose to go on COBRA coverage. Now, you guys are also eligible for the PEB retiree rates. So once you separate service, you actually can use the PEB retiree rates to cover yourself in retirement for life. And it's the same deal as everyone else. PEB will pay second to Medicare for all of your needs. So we look at the PEB page again. You notice that Sound Choice is NA. That doesn't cover it. So you're going to have to make the decision of what options do I want. You notice that all the names are completely different from what SEBB calls things. So you have to do a little bit of shopping and comparison to figure out what your next best option is. Now, for the most part, you have to try to find something that's going to cover your needs. Again, a lot of my clients will end up using this uniform medical plan. Probably about 90% of them are on this one here. So it'd be about $337 per month. It's a lot less than the $904 per month, though it is a different plan providers. You gotta make sure everything's covered there. So you can see uniform medical is an option on here, but they have different names of things. They have Achieve 1, 2, and high deductible. Or here, it's really just a classic plan. So there's a little bit of shopping that goes on in here. Looking at it here, you see they have Kaiser Northwest. They got plan 1, 2, and 3. On PEBS, they only have one. It's the Kaiser Northwest Senior Advantage, $174 per month. Now, why is it so much cheaper on this PEB plan? It's because right now I'm looking at the Medicare plan. So assuming you're currently on Medicare, SEBB only has one rate. They have, for people that want continuing costs, they don't care whether you're currently on Medicare or not. So if you're already of Medicare age, it probably doesn't make really sense to use the SEBB COBRA, because it's going to cost a lot more than what you can get just using the PEBB Retiree rates. Now, if you're someone that is not on Medicare yet, you'd have to use these bottom tables, and then things look a little bit different. So let's say if we're not on Medicare yet, let's go back to that Kaiser Sound Choice. We see it's $927 a month for one person only. On here, we see it's $904. So it's actually a little cheaper to use coverage for someone under age 65, or at least not on Medicare yet. So it's important to compare and contrast the different plans and options that you have. But in summary, if you're a PEB member, whether you use COBRA or go directly into the PEB retiree rates, it's going to be the same regardless. Only difference is for those that are currently on Medicare, PEB retiree rates are going to be a lot cheaper. If you're on SEBB, they do not have different rates based on age or if you're on Medicare or not. So if you're someone that's not at Medicare age yet, COBRA might be a little bit cheaper, though the coverage is going to be a little bit different than what you can get if you use the PEB retiree rates. And once you are over age 65, it's going to be a lot cheaper to start using. You guys understand the systems a little bit more and how to look about continuing your healthcare coverage down the road. If you want more insight into these healthcare plans, breakdowns of how they all work and how they compare to each other, that's covered inside of my course over in the Washington Wealth Breakthrough. Free to sign up. So go ahead and click that, and I'll see you guys there. And always remember that your future depends on what you do today.